Hello, I'm Jeremy. That is SP3. This is FMC. We're a little late on a Tuesday, but it is a Tuesday here, March 28th in beautiful, sunny, that's never true, Ohio. SP3, how you doing, buddy?
I'm laughing because Jeremy didn't even care to put up the FMC overlay.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't even think about it. I was like, we're just using the tag talk background. Whatever.
I thought you were gonna say in sunny tag talk lane, pink and everything.
I had a good tag talk pop yesterday on the Let's Talk About It show that I just completely made up randomly. Everything that
You make a great radio host. You make a great radio host.
Oh, that's not true at all. I got a face for radio, but that's not true at all.
I used to say that about myself. I was like, I got the face for radio, but somehow I found myself on YouTube.
I've said this many times. Like when I first started podcasting, like one, I was never comfortable doing it, and two, like I never wanted to do like video or anything because I find myself awkward anyway. Like I never wanted to do video or anything like that. And then I started doing video and it's like, oh, I can do like silly faces and do bits and everything. And like now I just can't imagine not doing video and things like that because the visual element of it kind of can enhance things if you're not just sitting there staring blankly at each other. So now, yeah, I can't imagine doing anything else. Gonna be doing this shit forever, SP3, sadly. This and listening to Bianca Belair interviews is what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life.
She's the new Drew McIntyre. True new Drew. They send her out there for everything.
I know we don't talk about wrestling on this show, but you know what? We're going to talk a lot of wrestling this week. And now I'm just going to vent about work stuff for a second because it's going to be a lot of wrestling this week because everyone's doing media and stuff this week, right?
At NBA shows, trash reality, and therapy. This is what we do.
It kind of is. It kind of is. I listened to like 5 10-minute Bianca Belair interviews this morning. Didn't get a single thing out of them. Just the same answers, the same cliche answers over and over. And I don't blame her, mind you. Like she's out there, she's going on these local radio spots. Most of them are not wrestling fans and everything. And they're asking the same question. What do you think about your match with Asuka? It's WrestleMania week. You must be busy. I heard you made your own gear. How's that going? What do you think about this match? It's like, what else is she supposed to say to this stuff? She gets asked legitimately these 5 interviews. She was asked, let's say they each got 4 questions each. So that's 20 questions total. She was asked about 2 different questions from everybody. Like out of 20 whole questions, they repeated the same questions 18 times. And it's like maybe there was 2 other questions thrown in there that was like new information that there was no repeats of. It was, that's been my morning so far. And then John Moxley burying people, which is always fun.
Always a thumbs up for that. And see, that's the thing with doing like wrestling interviews now. And I know you know this because I saw your GCW interviews, which you did really well with. Because I the thing with wrestling interviews is I don't even prepare questions anymore. I watch other interviews with the same people, so I know what questions not to ask. That's the key now with these interviews because everybody, it always kind of gets mushed up together and stuff. That was like the key thing. That was the hardest interview that I did this year was Speedball because I watched your guys' interview with him. I watched Wrestling Perspectives interview with him. I watched Sean's interview with him. I watched other people like Chris Van Vliet, anyone that ever interviewed him. I watched all those interviews before I had to interview him because I just wanted to go in a different direction. Like it annoys me when I hear the same person answering the same questions over and over again. And I never blame the person themselves. It's up to the interviewer to know what questions have been asked ad nauseum.
Right. and with these local interviews and everything, like this is their job. Get out there and just promote WrestleMania, promote whatever the upcoming show is. So they're just gonna ask, like, hey, you got this going on. What's going on? They're not going. Some of them will go a little outside the box, so that's when you get like a cool little anecdote that I can turn into an article. For the most part, it's just like, tell me about WrestleMania. It's like, all right, sure. It's the same thing. But yeah, fortunately we interview just a lot of independent wrestlers and they don't do a ton of interviews. So there isn't like a ton to like, hey, you haven't talked about this. Like most of the people we talk to they tell us all the time, like, this is my first like kind of big interview. It's like, all right, cool. Like nothing's really been said about your career, so we can kind of go in any direction we want to go with this, and it's all new information out there. Yeah, Speedball, he's now doing like a ton of interviews, so it can be more difficult, and there's less limitations on those guys too when it comes to like asking questions and whatnot. I want to interview Bianca Belair, and the question that I'm going to ask her is, what do you think was going through Montez's Ford mind when you made your WrestleMania debut at WrestleMania 36 and he's looking at you while he's like on all fours, like looking up at her? Do you remember this visual, SP3? Oh, it's such a good visual. That man, he was ready to send the wanna bang email right there to Bianca. But I want to know what she thought he was thinking. That's all I want to know. That'd be my one question if I had one question to Bianca Belair.
I want to know how long it takes her to make that braid before every match.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a question I've heard a lot of Bianca Belair interviews, and no one really asks about the braid that she does. And I want to learn the art form of making braids because I have a daughter. So I want to know her personal perspective on how she makes that braid.
That's a good question. I know I've heard the story of like how it became a weapon. I think it was Cher Delaware who told her like, oh, she uses the weapon, but like, yeah, how long does it take? Right. That's a good question. The wife has long hair and will braid it and everything. And I'd be interested if she could share some braiding techniques as well. So the wife could potentially use. It's a good question, SP3. If I ever interview Bianca Belair, I'll steal that question.
No problem.
And if you ever you could steal mine as well if you would like.
Man, WWE ain't let me interview no one.
Oh, I know.
After my rant yesterday on Let's Talk About It, they probably put me on the do not reply list.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hit with that same thing of like, you know what? This man is out here burying our product. We ain't doing this. Why is Joel Pearl sending me? Oh, okay. Sorry. So Joel Pearl just sent me a message. We interviewed, speaking of interviews, we interviewed Mose last week, who's a wrestling commentator, and he was remembering Sean Patrick O'Brien, who unfortunately passed away, nicknamed Spo. He's a independent referee, and Joel Pearl, especially not sure if you saw this yet, Spo's mom commented on your Spotlight chat with Mose. That's very cool. I hope this is a nice comment and not like, hey, you guys suck. Okay. Interview. All right. So it says, thank you. It says, this is so awesome. This is Sean's mom. I truly appreciate your kind words and honoring Sean. He's definitely smiling above. Sean has told me many wrestling stories weekly. In so many names, I recall the story. Maybe not all the details, because if you know Sean, you get all details. What I remember is all the names he talked about, and I have been hearing over the last week. You are all his family too. He and I love you all. Oh, that's very nice.
Oh, that's great.
Shout out to Spo's mom. Yeah, that's really cool to see and everything. All right, everybody can go check out that interview we did with Mose. Shout out to Mose, who is, I mean, you were on the Spotlight last week, SP3. You were on the show where we aired the interview with Mose, actually. And Mose is always very gracious with his time. Like, he was going to the funeral the next day and was like, no, I want to come on and talk and share some memories and stuff. We're like, all right, yeah, you're more than welcome to. So go check out that interview if you would like, and go watch last week's episode of the Spotlight, because I wasn't there, so it's probably a much better show because of that. All right, let's get into things.
Will you stop?
Let's get into things, SP3. Basketball. That's what everybody's here for, right? Everyone's here for basketball. LeBron is back, SP3. He's back and they lost to the Bulls. And people messaged me like, you got to talk about Patrick Beverley saying LeBron is too small. I'm gonna pull this up. I should have taken the picture or the video of it. I will get hit with a copyright if I throw the video in there. But Patrick Beverley just basically, he didn't even like back LeBron down or anything. He just kind of did. He pulled some Akeem. He pulled some Akeem moves on him. Bless him. And then he hit LeBron with the too small. What were you thinking when you saw this, SP3? This is
just shaking my hand.
Patrick Beverley, former Laker great Patrick Beverley. Isn't that what you like to say? Former Laker great?
No. You got to be with the Lakers for more than a season. You got to be with them for more than 82 games. You have to be with the Lakers before you become a Laker great. Patrick Beverley, I'm not surprised. This is what Patrick Beverley does. He talks a lot more trash than he produces on the court. So this is what he's going to do. So if he had a nice little move, and it was a nice little move, scoring and calling LeBron too small, he had his nice little moment. He'll cherish that. Cherish that like he cherished, making the play-in. So this is what Patrick Beverley does. I'm not surprised. That was a hard loss to take because we finally our rivalry with 500. We finally hit 500, and then we immediately lose to the lowly Bulls at home because LeBron decides he wants to come back early. I was like, so that was just so strange to me. We heard all week it was like LeBron's gonna come back for like the final 5 games of the season. Then like a day before it became LeBron's gonna come back tomorrow, and it's like what? What we were just getting chemistry without LeBron. What are we doing? We gotta now integrate LeBron in like on a day's notice. I knew it wasn't gonna work out very well. I saw the score at halftime, and I was just like, yeah, I feel like we're gonna lose this game. We're gonna lose this game. We've come back from bigger deficits. They were only down by like 6 or 8 at halftime, but I was just like, no, we're gonna lose this game. Anthony Davis didn't have a good first half. He didn't even have a good second half. He wasn't scoring the ball, wasn't as aggressive as he's been the last couple of games. So I knew we were gonna lose that one. That was kind of us like I guess we'll have to battle 500 again against the Bulls in Chicago this time. But we lost by 10, unfortunately. Zach LaVine had a great game. I think he had 32 points in that game.
Laker great Zach LaVine.
Future. I hear you. Future Laker great Zach LaVine. And we had a good overall team effort where we had 6 players in double figures, but I just felt like we were trying to integrate LeBron back. Like the goal of the game was to get LeBron back into the flow of the offense with the other players more than it was to win the game. And that's the reason why we lost the game.
I agree with you that they were trying to just integrate LeBron back and everything. And it's going to take some time, right? He hasn't really played with this roster. And D'Angelo Russell didn't play this game either, did he? So like him not being there. I know he missed the game against OKC.
He didn't play.
Yeah, so like him not being there either. Once he gets back, like this is a whole new team from what we saw at the deadline, and LeBron has not played with these guys. So everybody's got to figure out their role now. Davis is obviously going to take on a diminished role just because LeBron is that guy when it comes to everything. And it's going to take a little bit of time. They don't have a lot of time. What they do have is still 2 of the top, I don't want to say top 10. LeBron is still a top 10 player. Davis, top 20. I'll give him that.
Top 15. Come on, at the very least. See, I got off the top 5, dead or alive, and that's just on one LP. I jumped off of that. I said that last week because of his inconsistency, but we had 2 really good back-to-back wins. Against the Suns, we finally broke the streak against the Suns, beating them handily by 11 points last week. That was a good game to get off, and Anthony Davis played really well. He had 27 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Austin Reeves, Austin Reeves,
This
aka
guy.
Billy Hole. Billy Hole had 25 points and
This
11
guy.
assists in that game. And then we beat your Oklahoma City Thunder, which I needed that win. I needed that win so badly because I can only imagine the trash you would have talked to me if y'all
I
would have
mean, I
won
would
that
have.
game.
Yeah, I would have. I would have talked trash 100%. But like I told you, I want the Lakers to make the playoffs because I bet on them, and I would like to win a little bit of money. A whole like $2 or something is what I'm gonna win because I only bet like 50 cents. I don't have
Well,
that
Anthony
much.
Davis
I don't have that
had
much
a
faith in the
monster.
Lakers.
He had a monster game
He
in that game.
should.
37 points, 15 rebounds. That's what I'm talking about. That's
He
what I'm
should have.
talking about, AD.
He should have had a monster game because OKC has no size, and they were on a back-to-back as well. Like they just played the Clippers. The Clippers just dominated them. But and they played the Lakers one night later. I had no disillusion that like OKC was going to win this game. Would have been nice if they won, but like after losing to the Clippers, playing on a back-to-back against the Lakers, considering the mismatch Davis had, I was like, if Davis is just aggressive and actually plays like Anthony Davis should, and plays like SP3 believes Anthony Davis plays every single game, then he's going to dominate this game. And that's exactly what he did. The big thing for the Thunder now, so they just had a stretch of Phoenix, Clippers twice, and Lakers. And I said before that stretch, they go 2-2. Things are looking okay. They beat Phoenix. They beat the Clippers the first time, lost the second, lost the Lakers. So they went 2-2. They did exactly what they needed to do. Now is the critical 4-game stretch. They just beat Portland. They just beat Portland. They have Charlotte, Detroit, Indiana. Charlotte's tonight, and then I think it's Detroit. Then I think it's Indiana. I think that's the schedule. They got to win all 4 of these games. They're 1-0 so far. They got to win the next 3. These are all very winnable games against teams that are not in the playoff picture or anything like that. You win these games, and then you're looking halfway decent for a play-in spot. It's so crazy how the West changed, though. OKC was 7th going into the second Clippers game. They had just beaten the Clippers, and they were sitting 7th. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. 7th place. Like things are good. They lose the Clippers game. Haven't even played the Lakers yet. They lose the Clippers game. Wake up the next morning against the Lakers. They're 11th. They lost 1 game after winning 2. They lost 1 game, and all of a sudden went from 7th to 11th. I can't make sense of any of this. It does seem like it's the Jazz are kind of falling out a little bit right now. The Pelicans have really turned things around. The Dallas Mavericks is the team we got to talk about. Back-to-back losses to the Hornets. I know they handled the Pacers last night, but back-to-back losses to the Hornets? Yes. You made things so much more difficult on yourself losing 2 straight games to the friggin' Charlotte Hornets of all teams.
With Luka having 40 points, 12 rebounds.
Luka and Kyrie played both games. They played both games, and they lost both of them.
That's embarrassing. That's him. You can expect. You can say, if they didn't have Luka, that's understandable loss. Not really to me. Even with Kyrie, I think they're the better team between them and the Hornets. But they lost. They lost the first one, 117-109, with Luka having 34 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Kyrie had 18 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, but they just couldn't stop the front court for the Hornets with Haywood and PJ Washington.
Their defense is so awful. It's so bad, and like we knew this was going to be the issue. When Kyrie came in, they were just thinking, well, we'll just outscore all of our defensive problems. And like that works if you actually score every single basket because you're giving up a bucket every single time down. Their personnel's not good. They don't have anybody who can guard the perimeter. They don't have anybody who can guard the paint. So 1, your personnel just isn't good enough to defend. 2, I don't know what the scheme is. Their scheme last year was fine. It was fine.
I think they played a lot of zone, which is like historically Dallas Mavericks' best form of defense from even the Dirk days.
Yeah, like they had a good defense last year. They had better personnel last year because they traded their best defender to get Kyrie. They traded Finney-Smith to get Kyrie, so he was gone. Luka, man, so Louisville, I believe it's Louis. Luka can't lift his teammates, can't help on D. Everything they said about Jokic is true about him. Luka's defense, and look, man, this is one of the greatest offensive players I've ever seen. The pass he made from behind the backboard in the corner last night was absurd. Absolutely absurd, the pass he made last night. Offensively, he can do everything. He can hit every shot. His handle is great. Like offensively, one of the best players I've ever seen offensively. Defensively, this man doesn't even give effort. No. Much less like he's just not a good defender. He doesn't move his feet. He doesn't stay in front of anybody. He doesn't know when or how to help, it doesn't seem. Like defensively, the effort isn't there, much less the attention to like detail on the defensive end. Like there's just nothing. Like say what you will about James Harden. Everybody wants to rag on his defense, everything. At least if you tried to post up James Harden, you can't post up James Harden. He was going to stand his ground and at least give the impression that he was like trying on defense or something. Luka don't even care about that. And like when your point of attack defense is immediately broken, it screws up everything else. So they can't get stops at all. I have to believe that a team with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving isn't going to miss at least the play-in. At least the play-in.
It's they got to get it together. They got to turn this around with what do they have remaining? 3, 4, 5, 6 games. They only have 6 games left, and they don't have the most favorable schedule. The only teams that I think they can beat for sure are the Bulls and the Spurs, their final 2 games of the season, but they got the 76ers on Wednesday. They got the Heat on Saturday. They got the Hawks. That could be a winnable game depending on which Mavericks we get. That's on Sunday, and that's a back-to-back. And then they got the Kings before those final 2 games. So I can see them going 3-3, but is that going to be good enough to make it when you got the Lakers, you got the Thunder ahead of them? You got the Pelicans, which is still in that play-in mix. You got the Warriors, who can it fluctuates from game to game. That the Warriors could be in the play-in or they could be in the 6th or 5th spot. Clippers have kind of turned it around despite the Paul George injury. I think I think that killed any chance of the Clippers making it far in the playoffs. Though they've looked like a very easy first round exit in my opinion, without Paul George. And then you got the Timberwolves, who is kind of in the middle of everything.
Timberwolves are playing great basketball right now. They're playing great. They beat the Kings last night, which is a big win. Towns is back. They shouldn't have beat the Warriors. The Warriors just threw that game, literally threw it away because they were up 1 with like 20 seconds remaining. And instead of just waiting and dribbling out the clock and let Steph get fouled to go to the line, Steph is over here throwing overhead passes, no look to Draymond, and Draymond's passing and getting the ball stolen. And then they're giving up a 3. Just that was an absolute blunder by the Warriors. I don't know what was happening there. Why Steph felt the need to dribble in and out of traffic when all he's got to do is stand there and get fouled. And
he's an automatic free throw shooter. So it's like, why? Why did you need to do that?
Terrible awareness by Steph Curry. He's got to.
This is like the worst I've ever seen the Warriors going into the playoffs.
It's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. What we did a show last week, but we haven't talked since a big thing happened last week. I want to get your thoughts on it. The Mavericks and Warriors game from last week, where the Mavs players were lined up at half court, and the ref gives the Warriors the ball, and the inbound. It's an easy basket because the Mavs players thought they were getting the inbounds. Mark Cuban's filing protest. Luka's alluding to the league being rigged. What were your thoughts on all of this, SP3?
I think that this is just setting up Luka Doncic and Mark Cuban, where I think there has never been a player-owner combination that is so ready to complain about things. Y'all just set them up for success in their complaining, because it did look kind of funny. I don't know what was going on. I was so confused, even watching it back and having it explained to me on YouTube. But it was very strange. It was very strange at that. But It's the Mavericks, man. The Mavericks is falling apart. I think that's the one benefit to the Golden State Warriors not looking like the worst of their entire dynasty going into the playoffs. I think that they are still going to be firmly in the playoffs because I have never seen a team melt down after a big time trade like the Dallas Mavericks.
So this thing with the Mavericks, first of all, if you want to blame the referees, fine. I guess the communication wasn't very good. If you're supposed to be inbounding the ball, why are you at half court? Like, the inbounds is underneath the basket too. Like, why aren't the whole team underneath the basket? Why isn't a coach? Where's Jason Kidd? Jason Kidd famously to buy more time was like, spill this drink on me, run into me and knock this drink into me.
He should have act like there was like spill something on the court and then fall onto the cart and slide onto the cart. Like, guys, go to the.
What are we doing that somebody on the coaching staff is not pointing out? Like, hey, get down on the other side. Why are we all staying around half court? The ball is never going to be at half court. It's the end of the third quarter. There's no ball advancement or anything. It was an out of bounds thing. It wasn't a timeout where you can advance the ball, but the ball went out of bounds. So wherever the ball goes out of bounds at, that's where the ball is going to be inbounded at, given the time. Why are you standing at half court? And then you see everybody else like, made absolutely no sense to me. Here's the point that I didn't hear enough people talking about. So I'm watching this game and I see everything that happens. Fourth quarter starts, right? The ESPN broadcast says Mark Cuban just came down to us and he said he's going to file a protest if this ends up being a 2-point or less game, right? They said this is beginning of the fourth quarter. Mark Cuban has already made a declarative statement of I'm filing a protest if this game is 2 points or less. Beginning of the fourth quarter, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you remember this, SP3. People listening, maybe they don't remember it either. It's been like a week now. This was a 5-point game with like 3 seconds remaining. The Warriors were up 5 with like 3 seconds remaining, right? Dallas ball. Warriors got no reason to do anything in this situation. No reason. Why are you going to foul? Why are you going to foul somebody on this? Why are you going to do anything? Right? Dallas is inbounding the ball. Reggie Bullock puts up a meaningless 3. Warriors don't even contest it. Nothing. Whatever. Take your 3. Goes in. 5-point game becomes a 2-point game because the Warriors just decided to give him this 3, whatever. And that's why it was a 2-point game. This was not actually a 2-point game. It became a 2-point game because the Warriors were like, we're up 5 with 2 or 3 seconds remaining. Why are we going to do anything on this final possession?
They're working with Mark Cuban.
Yeah, and Bullock just jacks up this shot because, hey, whatever, let me just shoot it. Maybe I'll get fouled and somehow get a 5-point play out of this whole thing. Like, no reason to do anything. The Warriors don't. And he makes it. And so it's a 5-point, becomes 2-point, and Mark Cuban can go, I can file my protest now because it was a 2-point game.
You see?
Just a series of events here.
Mark Cuban, he's playing Shark Tank with the NBA. He's playing Shark Tank out in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. You love to see it. You love to see it. You give Mark Cuban a reason to complain or file a protest, he is happy as can be. But I like I said, I agree. I definitely agree with you. I hope that Dallas is able to pull themselves together and at least make the play-in because I love to see Luka Doncic back into the playoffs or play in at the very least. And with Kyrie, I think they need the spotlight before they inevitably fail.
I don't care if they make the playoffs or the play-in, honestly, because if they don't, that means OKC might make it. Would I like to see the best players be there? Would I like to see Luka in a play-in game, Kyrie in a play-in game? Yes. But if they don't make it, one of our teams probably is SP3. So if they want to continue to not play defense and fail, good. Go for it.
We get the great battle of FMC in the first round of the play-in. If the season ended today, it would be us versus you in the first round of the play-in.
I'd be pulling for the Lakers. I would like some money, and I don't if OKC doesn't, making the play in is kind of all I'm hoping for at this point. And if they make the playoffs, look, they're either gonna play the Nuggets and Jokic is gonna kill this undersized team, or they're gonna play probably Memphis at this point with a 2 seed. If Adams is back, he's gonna kill it. Memphis is just a better team. I'm not like the super high on the Memphis Grizzlies. They're a better team.
Hey, they got Ja back, so they're looking better than they were a few weeks ago. Ja's back. He's happy.
He seems to be doing well, which is good. I hope it continues down this path for Ja Morant. He seemed to have some self-reflection on everything that happened, and hopefully he continues to just not go to the club and show off guns on Instagram. Just don't do.
And stop quoting NBA YoungBoy.
Is that a thing? I don't know who that is.
NBA YoungBoy is a rapper that I think got arrested for gun possession. So not the best person to quote after your whole ordeal, Ja Morant.
Oh, I saw that like somebody, maybe it was Kendrick Perkins, who was like, although the rappers are the reason why Ja Morant is doing all of this stuff. Literally, Eminem rapped about this like 2 decades ago of the next time you assault the dude, just tell the judge it was my fault and I'll get sued. Like, what are we doing here? Blaming rap music on the actions of NBA players and everything. Like, what are we doing here? Stupid.
Well, carry on. I'm gonna do
carry
Kendrick Perkins. Carry on. Oh, well, man. Carry on. I'll let you take care of the rest of that. I'm just gonna come up here every week when we talk NBA and say Kendrick Perkinsons. his Kendrick Perkins isms. Is Kendrick Perkins isms. Carry on. I'll let you take care of the rest of that.
I only know
Stephen Knight.
I only know the carry on. I don't listen to Kendrick Perkins. I gotta say, don't listen to Kendrick Perkins at all. I have no reason to listen to Kendrick Perkins.
He says, "I let you take care of the rest of that." When he talked about the three NBA MVPs that were not top 20 in scoring. Who was it? Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, and Nikola Jokic. I let you do the rest of that math.
Oh, bless Kendrick Perkins. My friend Sammer got fooled by the fake tweet that he had gotten fired. I think like the fake like NBA Central account put it out.
Where Central with the A?
Yeah. That Kendrick Perkins had been fired, and he just texted me. He's like, Kendrick Perkins got fired. And I was like, fake news. He's like, is it really? I was like, yeah, that's the fake account. He's like, oh, no. I had to change his avatar to a crying Jordan because he got fooled by a fake account.
That's awesome. That's actually awesome.
What do we got NBA coming up? Oh, let's talk about Embiid and Jokic, because Embiid ducked Jokic last night after talking all that trash. I actually don't think that. Look, you're better off protecting the long-term health of this man than making him play in a regular season game to try to go for the MVP. I know like Embiid is like kind of campaigning for the MVP, and that's fine. Like, campaign for it. He learned from James Harden, right? Like, Daryl Morey's there. Like, that is team campaign for MVP. I'm shocked that Daryl Morey has not brought up like ad time on ESPN to explain why Joel Embiid should
Doc
be the
Rivers
MVP.
Too.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers.
I'm actually shocked that they haven't done this, but he's been campaigning for it. He didn't play last night. Protect the health. You need this man for the playoffs, not some regular season game against the Denver Nuggets. Jokic had a triple-double, though. It still feels like it's Joel Embiid's MVP. I know 2 weeks ago we thought it was Jokic, but now I think it's Embiid's.
It feels like he's gotten the late season rush.
Yeah,
that Jokic got the last 2 seasons, really, because it was a debate for much of the last 2 seasons whether it would be Jokic or Embiid. Embiid goes down that first season, Jokic wins. Jokic goes off in March, I think like February and March last year, and that's why he wins last year. And now this year, Joel Embiid had a monster March so far. Well, it's only like 1 or 2 games left for them in the month of March, but he's had ridiculous numbers. He's averaging 33 points per game, 10 rebounds, 4 assists on 54% from the field, 38% from three. Like Joel Embiid's putting up monster numbers where you can, if the media members say, use their famous excuse, voter fatigue. We can't give it to Jokic again. He already got 2 in a row, and Joel Embiid, a lot of people felt like he got robbed the last 2 seasons, so we got to give it to Joel Embiid this season. It feels like it's kind of custom made for him to make that late season rush and get the voters on his side. So, and it's very comparable. Like I made the debate last week. When you look at their records, not their place in their conference, because I think we can all agree the top half of the East is better than the top half of the West. Even though the Nuggets are in first place, they have 51 wins. The Sixers have 49 wins. It's not that big of a gap between these two teams.
Jeremy here says, do you think there should be a minimum games played for awards? I think there is, like, almost subconsciously a minimum games played. I've seen some people say like 58 to 60 should be what it is. You tried to argue
that seems low.
You tried to argue that, like, Embiid, because he played 2 more games than Giannis, should not be considered for the award. No,
those 2 games were crucial.
They're not. Those
are crucial because they prove that Milwaukee is great even without Giannis. The games he was out.
Embiid's at 61 games, by the way, and Giannis is at
60 now, I think.
59. So it's still 2 games.
See,
it's 59. I think if you play,
his team has played 75 games and he's only got 59. He's missed nearly 15 games.
Jokic is at 67. I don't know. Jokic has only missed like 1 or 2 games. Like he's at 67 games. So I think Louis says 69 minimum. I'm not mad at 69 minimum, but I don't think Jokic will hit that. I don't know if Embiid will hit that. I don't know if Giannis will hit that because there ain't 10 games remaining. So I don't think Giannis hits that at all. Embiid would have to play out the rest. No, there's not 8 games remaining for them, so neither of them would hit that. See, 69 seems.
I would say between 60 and 70.
That's fair. I would say 62. That gives you 20 games off. Like 20 games. That's a fourth of the season right there. So if you're playing 3/4 of the season, I think that's the minimum requirement. 62. You got to play at least a quarter of the season. Like to put this in 4-quarter basketball terms, you can play 3 great quarters, and if you play so great in those 3 quarters, you don't need to play in the 4th quarter. So
Kobe against the Mavericks, 62 points in 3 quarters. I still remember that. He didn't even have to play the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you got to play at least 3 quarters of the season. So I think 62 is where I would go as the minimum for how many games you need to play to be there for the MVP. 69 it's too much. Like, typically I would agree. It's too much though with just all the nowadays with everybody just resting. Like everybody wants to rest nowadays. They're resting on back-to-backs. You get a minor injury. Like if last night was a playoff game, is Joel Embiid playing? Probably. He's probably playing if last night was a playoff game. But it's a regular season game Monday at the end of March where
they've already clinched the playoffs.
Right. Their spot as the 3 seed is more or less locked. Like maybe they can catch Boston, but it's gonna be tough for them to move up.
I don't think so. There's they have 7 games left and they're 3 games behind Boston. So I think they're set at 3.
Yeah, okay. So they're basically set at 3. They got nothing to play for at this point. They just need to maintain the 3 seed over the Cavaliers. Like that's it. That's all they're playing for.
And they are in the most ideal spot, really, because right now they would face the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. Like they get an automatic bye to the second round, basically.
I I think the top 3 seeds just got a first shot. I don't believe in Miami at all. Like they might climb up to 6, or they might be a 7th or 8th as like a play-in team. That team has shown me nothing to where I would be like, oh, Miami, you got to look out. I know people are gonna be like, oh, Jimmy Butler, like look out for him. Bam, like they kind of got the personnel and stuff. I don't believe in that team at all. Like if they were good, they'd be better than 40 and 35 at this point. And they're not. Like they had a loss the other night to Brooklyn. Brooklyn just blew them out in the second half. That was a horrible loss. They're super inconsistent. I don't believe in Miami at all.
It's crazy that the new Brooklyn Big Three have played the same amount of minutes that Harden, Kyrie, and KD played together now. That's insane to me. The big three of Mikal Bridges, Dinwiddie, and and Finney Smith have played the same amount of minutes that James Harden, KD, and Kyrie played together.
That is kind of nuts, though. That's honestly nuts that they've been together for like 2 months and they've already played more than a big three that was together for like a year and a half. That's crazy. Jeremy says, I'm hoping the Bulls hit the 8 seed because Brooklyn, Miami wouldn't scare me in the play-in tournament. I mean, yeah, I don't think any of these low teams scare anybody. We're basically just waiting for the second round when we're going to get Philly against probably Boston. I think the Bucks are pretty solidified as the 2 seed.
I think Cavs versus Knicks will be the best first round series of the East.
Yeah, and then whoever comes out of that, I still believe in the Cavs, but whoever comes out of that against the Bucks, but Boston and Philly in the second round, that's gonna be a bloodbath right there. And then the West, I have no idea what's happening.
We can't even talk about playoffs yet with the West because it changes from week to week, from game to game. So I think we would get a better with just 8 games left, or no, 7 games left. We would get a better picture and be able to talk more about playoff matchups next week than
even
right
next
now.
week. I don't even believe we're gonna have a clear picture next week. I really don't. Like next week looks like it's going to change. We're going to do the show next week. And then by the end of the night, it's going to be, everything we just said is completely flipped. It's insane how much it changes from the West. I do think we're kind of getting down to 11 teams for these 10 spots. And then once you get lower to like 6 through 11, you're looking at 5 teams for 6 teams for 5 spots is kind of where you're at. That's where it seems like with it, because I'm rolling out Portland's done. Portland, they're resting Dame, they're sitting him, they've conceded. They're not mathematically out of it, but they've conceded. Utah, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago. Like I didn't really fully believe in them. I thought at some point they would just kind of take the foot off the gas, and they've done.
And they have
now, yeah. So now you're just looking at the Warriors are a play-in team. The Pelicans, who have really turned things around, they won 5 in a row. The Lakers, the Thunder, and the Mavericks. And then you can throw in the Clippers and the Timberwolves, maybe. I think the Clippers are pretty safe at 5. I think they'll be fine.
I don't know with how the Timberwolves are playing. I could see, and especially with the Paul George injury, I could see things changing for the Clippers. They have an interesting stretch coming up for them too, where they have back-to-back games against the Grizzlies, who are going to be playing their starters because they want to get Ja Morant back into the flow of things, even though he's been back a couple of games. They're playing the Pelicans on Saturday. They play the Lakers next Wednesday. So those are some crucial games for them to close out their regular season. So I think that we'll see if the Clippers are going to get out of this bunch, but they're just the Timberwolves and Warriors are just a game behind them. The Lakers at 9 or a 2.5 games behind them.
And then the Thunder are tied with the Lakers as well. And then the Mavericks have an extra loss on these teams. I'm comfortable saying the Clippers are fine. And if they fall out, they fall out. I don't, whatever. I'm comfortable saying they're fine. The Timberwolves, Warriors, Pelicans, Lakers, Thunder, Mavericks. That's who I'm looking at as the 6 teams battling for five playoff spots right now. And the Thunder have the schedule. I'm never going to buy into my team. It's just, I very rarely do. You know, my hockey team won the whole thing last year, and I never for once believed. I have a very tough time believing that they're going to come out of this. They got to win these next four, or three at this point. They got to beat the Pacers tonight. Or sorry, they play the Hornets tonight. They got to beat the Hornets tonight. They got to beat Detroit. They got to beat Indiana. You do that, then your record is 40-38. You're looking okay because you're assuming other teams are going to lose somewhere in there. I don't know if they can do it.
It's gonna be very, very interesting. Like I said, I think we'll get a better picture next week. But yeah, like you also said though, it could change. It could change day by day going on in this Western Conference. I think the only things we're confident is that the Nuggets will be number 1, Grizzlies will be number 2, and the Kings will be number 3. I think even the Suns, they could fall off the face of the earth because of how unpredictable this Western Conference is. So
yeah. I mean, the Sun Durant's supposed to be back this week.
Yeah, he is.
Durant's supposed to be back this week. The Suns will be fine.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine. I just hope that they're not. Just being honest.
Jeremy says Nuggets Suns round 2. Well, I'm not. It could be Suns Clippers round 1, and that's not like the easiest matchup in the world for the Phoenix Suns. Like, let's not completely write off the Clippers if that's the first round matchup there. A lot's going to depend on Paul George's health because they're going to need him to help on the defense with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. But the Clippers got some firepower that can give the Suns trouble, and Kawhi, he can turn it up when he wants to. He doesn't get as much blame as he probably should for the stuff that has gone wrong with the Clippers. But he's a proven playoff performer for the most part. Maybe not in LA. Russell Westbrook has always kind of gotten better of Chris Paul. One game has aged a whole lot better than the other game, but Russell Westbrook always seems to do pretty well against Chris Paul.
That is true. And yeah, I think that would be the best first round series in either conference, Suns and Clippers, if that pans out. I think that it's very interesting in the West because unlike the East where we're like, okay, Bucks, Celtics, and Sixers are going to make it into the second round. I can't really say I'm confident in the Grizzlies against, say, they go against the Warriors. I still feel like the Warriors can flip the switch and become the Warriors that we know them to be, especially against the cocky ass Grizzlies, who they always seem motivated to face. And then with the Nuggets, I mean, it depends on who they have at that 8th seed, because if the Pelicans are hot, that's a tough out for them, as we saw last year with the Suns and the Pelicans. The Lakers, if they can put it together, if they can get LeBron back into the flow, I think that would be the hardest matchup for the Nuggets in the first round. And even the Thunder, they play very well. They got the young legs on them where you can say maybe the Nuggets gave everything they had to get the first seed, and they don't have enough left when they get to the playoffs. So it's not as foregone a conclusion. I think the Kings and Timberwolves would be an interesting matchup as well. But like we said, this will all change in a week. Pretty sure it will.
It definitely will. We'll talk about it next week when it comes to what changes in the NBA. Anything else basketball wise, SP3, you want to hit on?
I think that's everything. We talked about the Mavericks and their mess, talked about LeBron messing up our chemistry against the Bulls. We talked about Joel Embiid and the MVP race and the playoff picture, as that will change in a day.
I don't know if our pal Cher Delaware is she's packing, she's traveling, she is going to Los Angeles for whatever's happening there this weekend. But let's send this. I have not seen the challenge episode this week. I'm behind on stuff. People who I put it out there, but weekend changed for me from what I thought it was going to be. Did not have the time that I was hoping to have this weekend with everything going on. So I'm very behind on a lot of things. And now with the week, this being the week that it actually is, I don't have time to watch a lot of like non-wrestling stuff either. I did watch the first episode of Love is Blind, the new season. I don't know if you've watched that, SP3, but the new season is out.
Your missus asked me if I was watching, and I was like, I'm like a season or 2 seasons behind on Love is Blind, but I did watch another episode of MILF Manor. I'm taking it slow. I'm watching it like it's week after week, even though it's all available for me to watch. I'm watching it. I can only take one of those episodes per week, it feels. But I've done that. I did watch the challenge. Was very happy with the results of the challenge as well. It was a good episode. What else did I watch as far as reality television? 90 Days. I've been catching up on Jersey Shore Family Vacation, getting revved up for the return of Sammy Sweetheart. And yeah, that's most of the trash reality that I watched this week. And we do have news about what we talked about a few weeks ago, because they did announce this week that You Season 5 will be dropping next year. And I'm ready. I'm ready, folks.
We did talk about that, and we both kind of think that, Joe's got to get murdered. He's got to get killed somehow.
Oh no, he's got to be put on trial. Maybe he gets murdered in prison, but he has to be put on trial because I didn't realize how many people are still alive. Paco's still alive. Remember Paco from season 1?
Paco at all? No, I don't.
Paco was the next door neighbor kid.
Okay.
He killed Paco's mom's boyfriend.
Okay, yeah.
Paco's still alive. Ellie, of course, Jenna Ortega, she's still alive. And he's hurt her because he's the one that trapped Delilah in the cage before Love killed her. You got Love's parents. They're still alive and probably still want revenge, especially because now he's out and about and just look at me.
He's just paying everybody. He's just paying everybody to stay silent. It's like, just stay silent.
You got Will from season 2, the one that he stole his identity and put him in the cage, who played he actually played Oswald Cobblepot, Penguin in Gotham. That's how I knew him.
At that.
He was really good at that. That's one of the best, probably up there with Danny DeVito as one of the best Penguin portrayals ever. But he was good in You Season 2. Who else is alive? There's a couple of more people. There's the couple, the interracial couple that Love put in the cage. The bloggers in season 3. There is still Marianne and Nadia. So yeah, there's a bunch of people that we need to be. We have all of Beck and Peach's friends from season 1 as well. They're still alive.
They don't care. They don't care that he's out there. They don't care.
You're trying to say Beck had awful friends? Therapist Nikki, who he framed Beck's murder on.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's in jail.
He can't do shit though. He's in jail.
We don't know how long he's in jail for.
He murdered somebody. He's in jail for a while.
He did not murder anybody. That's the thing.
Well, he did in the court of law. He murdered somebody. He was guilty there. He's in jail for a while. They could easily explain all this, that all these people have just randomly died, and just that'll be totally you, of just like an absurd accident just killed all of these people. Nikki died while in jail. He got shanked or something. The bloggers died because they wrote some article that somebody was unhappy with, and so they came to their house and just killed them. So that person's now in jail too. That's a totally believable thing. They could just Beck's friends all just overdosed on some stuff. They were terrible people. You could explain that all these people are dead one way or another, and I'd just be like, yeah, sure. In the world of You, all this makes sense.
That does make sense.
It's a brilliant thing about this show.
I sent you guys a video that counted how many people Joe
Yes.
murdered, and
Yeah.
I think he missed one because it's actually 18. It's actually 18 people in total because it's actually 8 that he killed in season 4. He killed 8 people. I think the one person that they missed in that video was the security guard for Kate's dad. Mr. Lockwood, Mr. Lockwood's security guard, who he framed the murder on, Hugo. So he killed him, and that was the one that he missed. But he's killed. Joe Goldberg has killed 18 people throughout the U series.
That seems low. I feel like he's killed a lot more.
He's ruined a bunch of lives.
Yeah.
All the people that we just named, in one way or another, he kind of ruined their lives. Will, Ellie, Paco had to move after he killed the mom's boyfriend. Paco had to move away. So Nadia, Marianne.
Yeah, he's ruined a bunch of lives. It feels like he's killed. It feels like he's killed more. He can't go to trial. Absolutely not. Cher Delaware said she's going to be on in a minute. This is a discussion we need to have with her.
Also,
well.
I heard an interesting plot point that would be very interesting for season 5 because it's something that they really haven't addressed since they kind of detailed it in season 2. Is what about Joe's mom and his brother?
He's killed them.
No, he hasn't killed them. That's the thing. You remember when they did the flashback when he went to go see his mom after his mom left him in the orphanage. She had a new son, and she was just like, "No, I had to get away from you." Like, what? That's you're his mother. You just left him in an orphanage because he killed their abusive father.
Do you think that this next season he's going to just go to therapy and get all his mommy issues resolved? Is that going to be season 5? Joe Goldberg in therapy talking about
No, because they already did therapy in season 1.
He needs to go back. A lot of happened.
He needs a lot of therapy.
Season 5, he's going to need more therapy.
Like, someone said that to me. It was like, wouldn't this the show be over if he just really took therapy seriously? Him and Love should have went to therapy and actually took it seriously. When they went to didn't they go to therapy in season 3? Yeah, season 3 they went to therapy too.
They don't care to go to any type of therapy. Joe ain't going to therapy with Kate. That ain't happening in season 5. They're just gonna throw a bunch of money. So he's gotta die. SP3. He's gotta die. A trial is too nice for this man. Maybe he'll fake his own death and become a lumberjack. Dexter.
How many times can you fake your own death? No, you gotta he's gotta either die or be put on trial. I think he should be put on trial and then killed.
You're trusting the court of law to deal with this man?
Yes.
No.
He has fooled the court of law too many times.
No, you can't trust the court of law to deal with this man. This is like when my pal Stammer was like, why don't they just go to the police? You're trusting the police with this man? No, this is too much faith in police. This is too much faith in the judicial system. Have we learned nothing? Have we learned nothing that the police and the judicial system are going to fuck this up? Jenna Ortega's got to take matters into her own hands and just murder this man. Marianne, take matters into your own hands and murder. Nadia.
They need to be like the Avengers. The Joe Goldberg Avengers. Ellie, Nadia, Marianne, Love's parents.
You can't trust the court of law to deal with this man. He's definitely gonna get off scot-free. He's a white male with money. This man, he's gonna walk in there in pajama pants. He's like, I ain't worried about this shit. I'm about to go take me a nap.
He's an affluent white male. He's getting away with everything.
Good-looking white male who is kind of celebrity, who has a wife or girlfriend with a lot of money. This man ain't getting hit with nothing. He's good. And
he's Jewish because his last name is Goldberg. This is the worst possible combination. Oh, I did actually see two interesting videos that we can discuss is ranking the seasons and ranking Joe's love interest.
Oh, okay. We can do that We can do that next, maybe next episode or an episode later on. I'm trying to. This is gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode of FMC because it's the week that it is. There's unfortunately other stuff to do. Fortunately. I'm waiting on Cher Delaware, who said I'll be on in a minute, and this was 7 minutes ago. So women be taking their time. Am I right, SP3?
Be taking their time. Be taking their time. That was great.
Message. Oh, okay. So the wife says, I asked SP3 if he watched Love is Blind because I need to hate on those bitches with other people too. She is so angry at these people, doesn't even know them, and just immediately doesn't like them. Just immediately.
I am the same way. I'm the same way with Love Island contestants. I hate them immediately.
And then she told me to check my Instagram because I messaged Joey from the Manor. Hello. What?
The girls are mean. They're making fun of the girl who's crying because she got hurt.
The girls are kind of mean on this show. Yeah.
Those are the ones
they're horrible.
But you were hating on them literally like 5 minutes into the first episode, though. Yeah, you were just because they're stupid. Okay, there you go. Hater.
That's a reasonable reason.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
We have not received a message back from Joey from the Manor. Very sad that he's just ignoring me. Phil Lindsay, who I might send an invite to here in a second. Women be shopping. Exactly.
Women be shopping.
Women be taking their time. Cher Delaware. How are you?
I'm on a meeting.
That's not important. That's not important at all.
They keep sending me requests to get on video, and I keep just denying it. And then they're like, hey, did you get the request? And I'm like, no, nothing came through.
I'm here, though. I'm here. I hear everything.
I ain't listening to a damn thing they're saying. I've been talking for 43 minutes.
Cher Delaware, we were discussing season 5 potential stories here. SP3 for some reason has faith in the judicial system and wants Joel Goldberg to go on trial. I think he should just get killed. Someone should just, I don't care who, it could be a team of people, should just murder this man. What do you think? What are your season 5 predictions or what you would like to see?
I will say, to be fair though, he's in New York, so it could be Olivia Benson that arrests him.
Fine with that. I told you we got to get a Taylor Swift appearance as like the detective here, and she's the one who cracks everything. That's what needs to happen.
I have no faith that he's gonna have to get murdered. Like it's gonna have to get him like in the box or something. Like I don't know.
He's got to be put on trial and have all of his past in front of him. He's got to have all his past in front of him.
You know he will escape.
You know who's going to be the lawyer that puts him away too? It's going to be Ellie. It's going to be Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega. She's become a lawyer. She used all. Oh, yes, I said. Paco's still alive. Paco got to come back. Paco got to come back. Paco got to come back. The Love's parents got to come back. It's got to be everyone that he's kept alive. Will that he put in the cage at the beginning of season 2. Everyone has to be in the courtroom. He's got to have his whole past, and Will would be on his side.
Ooh, what if it is Love's teenage lover?
Ooh,
yes,
he was smart.
Yeah,
he's got to get killed. It can't go to trial. SP3, I'm telling you, I'll say this to Cher. He is a white man with money. He ain't nothing's happening to him.
No, it's gonna be like New Jack City, where he gets off and then he gets shot in the courtroom.
I say he goes on trial and they make him like go over all of his things, and then somebody just like stands up and shoots him.
All right, fine. He's got to die. This is my point. He's got to die. He cannot just go on trial and we can expect him to just have be judged here and and come to a verdict here, and that's how it ends. Of like, yeah, you're
No,
guilty.
no, that's
He's not gonna
that's
be
not
guilty.
gonna that's not gonna be the end. I said he's got to be put on trial, but then he'll get murdered either in prison, in the courtroom. He'll get murdered. That is the end of it. But he needs to be put on trial. We need all the past
It's
to
put
come
on
back.
trial, and then he goes to jail, and it's the therapist Nikki that John Stamos played, and he freaking shanks him in jail.
Yes.
SP3 mentioned Nikki, and I said that he got shanked himself, and that's why he died. I said that you can explain, like, SP3 brought up all these people who are still alive who could testify against him and everything, and I said, like, it's the world of you. Absurd stuff happens all the time. Nikki got shanked in jail. The bloggers wrote a bad post about somebody, and that person came to their house and killed them. Friends just overdosed. Beck's friends just overdosed. They'd explain all. Jenna Ortega got drowned at sea or something. Like, whatever you want to say about these people, they're all dead somehow.
She got sent to Nevermore. She got sent to Nevermore.
Yeah,
and never came back.
Yeah, you can just make it up, and it'll be fine because we're talking about you here. If it's absurd enough, you can get away with it. You can just get away with it.
That's fair. That is fair. But still, trial, and then murder. Trial and then murder.
Stop it. We'll talk about the challenge next week since I haven't watched it. I apologize, everybody. Cher Delaware, anything else you would like to discuss? I'm trying to keep this show like actual, not 20 hours, because I don't know if you've heard, but there's only 2 weeks left in the NBA season. So it's very, very crucial time.
Interesting. No, I don't really have anything going on.
Are you packed?
I am.
Very nice. Very
Two
good.
suitcases and a backpack.
What? You're going for like a day.
I'm gonna be on Wednesday to Monday.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
half a week.
Yeah, that's true.
SP3, you're going, right?
No, I'm not. No. They don't like me. I've said too many bad things about Triple H. So they was like, no, we can't allow this man into Los Angeles. We can't allow him to keep his agenda against our poor, precious, flawed Paul any longer.
That's fair. They don't really like me either, but they still keep giving me free tickets.
They give you free tickets. They love you. They love you.
Really?
I've never sat front row at a WWE event. I feel like I'm not a part of the club. I'm not a part of the club. Even my missus has sat front row at WWE events. Not me.
I have only spent $300 on this entire trip.
I need this trip. Wait, can you look us up for SummerSlam? Are you going to SummerSlam, Cher Delaware?
Probably not.
Really? Why not?
Yeah. I thought about it, but I don't know. I've got a Paramore concert in July, and then I've got another concert in August.
What concert are you going to in August?
Whiskey Myers.
No.
It's just at a local fair. I'll always buy $30 concert tickets.
Fair. The fees I got the wife tickets to Offspring, Sum 41, and Simple Plan, that concert. That's in August. And the fees cost more than the damn tickets did. So
yeah, thankfully mine wasn't through Ticketmaster, so I didn't have to pay Ticketmaster fees. But yeah, this week I've got Dax's show Wednesday, which Matt Kuhn has named me the water bitch. So I have to get water.
Matt Kuhn rules.
I said, so when people are like, you got in here for free, I'm going to be like, no, I'm working. I'm the water. So that's my job Wednesday. And then I'm going to stop by Walleye Mania. Or Thursday, I mean. Wednesday, I'm going to Dynamite. Because it's in St. Louis.
Right.
And then staying overnight and then flying out Thursday morning. It kind of perfect with that. And then Friday, I think I'm just going to do ROH. I got tickets to SmackDown in the Hall of Fame, but I would rather go to the ROH show.
I don't blame you.
And Saturday, I got tickets for NXT and Mania, but NXT's early. It's like 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah. It's 10 a.m. Pacific is when the show officially starts. Yeah.
So I
So
don't
you
know.
know you got to be there at 9 a.m. Pacific because of the traffic.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, everything is I don't feel bad about missing shows when I didn't pay for the tickets.
There you go.
So
I hear your meeting going on in the
Yeah.
background. Phil says you don't want to go to Detroit.
I've never been to Michigan, and I'm holding steady to that.
I wouldn't go to SummerSlam just because I feel like a lot of people are gonna. Are you going to SummerSlam, SP3?
I'll give it another go. Then maybe I'll use the misses this time as a
Okay.
way to go. I'll change my identity. I'll give them a different name.
Apply
I
credentials under my name.
All
I'm
right,
sure
bet. I will so do that. I will so do that.
I'm sure Sean's going to SummerSlam. I don't want to work. I want to go there as a vacation in Detroit, which sounds like an
That
oxymoron.
sounds horrible.
Awful.
Sounds like an oxymoron. All right, one last thing before we wrap it up here. He is a writer, sir. Phil Lindsay is here wearing a Rocky shirt. Have you ever seen Rocky 3, Phil Lindsay?
Never seen that movie ever. I just found the shirt and I thought it was a good idea to wear it.
Is this why you and Emilio were friends, because of his obsession with Rocky?
Now, me and Amelia are friends because we sit up and talk all night like girls.
I know. He's like, me and Phil were on the phone for 4.5 hours. I'm like, oh, that's why you weren't fucking replying to my text messages.
Nah, we like divulge our entire day, and I like lay in my bed on my stomach with my feet kicked up.
Oh,
Women be talking. They be
Yeah,
talking.
man.
Well, I had never seen. The reason I was talking shit about Phil is because, not you, Phil, the other Phil, is because I made fun of him not seeing Rocky because I had never seen Rocky until Emilio made me FaceTime him and watch it on FaceTime as he was watching it so he could see my reaction to this movie. I'm like, what is happening right now?
And he doesn't have a Rocky obsession. He has a Roadhouse obsession.
He also has a Roadhouse, but he's making me watch that one with him in person.
No, he watches Roadhouse like every day.
Every day. And Baywatch. And then complains about Baywatch.
Makes sense.
is he gonna watch the new Roadhouse with Conor
No.
McGregor?
He doesn't watch
does-
anything.
he-
He doesn't watch
he
anything
doesn't seem
past like
happy about that.
1995.
Yeah, fair. Honestly,
Doesn't
fair.
seem happy about that at all.
Real quickly, Ryan asked that I miss MILF Manor. MILF Manor has sadly come to an end. The season is over,
All over.
Ryan. So we don't have. And I
What
did
could have
say
happened?
that just ended. Everybody fell in love. Like that's what happens in all these shows. Phil, they fall in love, and we never hear from them again. I tried to reach out to Joey to see if he'd come on to do an interview, but he did not message me back. I assume he is trying to figure out where certain things are on a woman. Since he
I will message Joey. I bet he'll come on then.
Yes,
probably,
he will.
probably, yes.
A woman with a pulse?
Phil, LeBron James,
Oh no.
thoughts?
Maybe you should have stayed at home the other day, man. Maybe they would have won that game. I don't know. I felt pretty good coming into that game. I felt like we were going to lose, but I felt good coming into that game. And when we started kicking these guys' teeth in and they had to go use dirty tactics to get Fuchip out of here, I knew they were scared. And I was like, dang, all of this, they scared of Pat Bev like that? What's going on?
SV3.
It's a great moment for me. This is listen. I know we're not going to win a championship. I know we're probably not going to make it to the playoffs, but this was as good for me. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Phil's championship, just beating the Lakers.
Exactly.
I felt pretty good about it, man. Boy, when I tell you, man, beat these guys on Wednesday when I touched down in LA.
I told you, Phil. You gotta get a picture with a LeBron James jersey. What was my bit yesterday? Oh, find anybody wearing a LeBron James jersey or shirt or anything. Just step on their foot and be like, "Yeah, now you know how your hero feels." Like, I heard a pop.
I heard it.
Just go around.
So
going around Los Angeles just stepping on foots.
So
That's what I want from you, Phil.
I also resent one person that seems to be on the screen here trying to call me a hater because I question.
You are.
Because I
You are.
wait a minute though because I
Probably
questioned
says
what
it
was
on your identification. This is
That's
Phil
'cause I-
Lindsay, writer, LeBron hater.
because I question what's going on here because a lot of this seems very dodgy. Like what's going on here? The guy who went out. What was that? February 26th, in the Dallas game. That's the supposed I heard it popped. He had to roll all over the ground like he was dead, and then we were told, all right, we're gonna reassess this in a few weeks. But it's a tendon injury. All right. We get a few weeks out. All right. Well, he has to get a few second opinions on it. They're still reevaluating it. All right. That doesn't really work like anybody else's injury report where usually you get an MRI and we're reported what is the injury. And so the entire time I've been like, all right, what is the actual injury? It just seems like it's a tendon injury, but what is the injury? Nobody would say. Then miraculously, when this team becomes 500, he's available. And oh, by the way, it was a torn tendon. Bruh.
He went to the LeBron James of foot doctors. Phil,
Y'all
you don't believe
you don't
this?
see anything
Exactly.
weird about this. This all doesn't seem a little strange and coincidental that all of a sudden that he's back in a month and it was a torn tendon. Like he just healed from a torn tendon in a month.
What was the Kobe thing where Kobe went to Europe to get the special treatment or whatever it was? This is what LeBron did. He just went to the LeBron James of foot doctors, and now
He
he's
went to the Kobe
magically
Bryant
cured.
of foot doctors. That's what he went
Yeah,
to.
I unlike other people, I'm not saying that he wasn't injured. I'm just denying the fact that this was a torn tendon. It probably was inflamed, maybe he sprained it, but say he tore his tendon and healed in a month is crazy.
And where did you get your doctrine from? For you to deny something,
I
where
will
did you
say
get your doctrine from?
I tore my MCL walking down the road in Orlando last year because I am 75 years old, and I had to go through physical therapy 2 times a week, and it took me 10 weeks to be able to be off the brace.
Yeah.
So
We saw LeBron in that boot for what, like 2 weeks? Maybe.
Hey, we never questioned when John Cena came back from injuries early. Why are we questioning LeBron James?
Are you saying this is a kayfabe injury?
These are two all-time athletes when it comes to recovering from injuries.
No, and that's why I asked you when you turned this into, well, I know you hate the guy, so you wouldn't believe it anyway, and that's why I was like, all right,
Yes!
you don't think
Yes!
any of this is strange?
Because your post said I ain't buying it. I was like, obviously, known LeBron hater.
But I'm not buying it because
is not
this is
gonna
a
buy
weird
it.
story.
And then-
Everything about this is weird.
And then you tried to call your question legitimate when you said, so you're telling me. I was like, no, I told you what I told you. I don't expect you to believe anything.
So I'm going to ask you
a legitimate question. And
I asked you the same question. I just I elaborated what the question was.
No, you did. You're a writer, sir. You know how wording is. You know how wording can be interpreted, and your wording was not a legitimate question.
So I'm gonna ask it exactly. I'm gonna ask
ahead.
it exactly like I asked in the post. You
The
don't
second
think?
time.
No, the first time.
No, the first time you said, so you're telling me when I clearly said I don't expect a known LeBron hater to believe anything LeBron James related. And that's a fact. I don't expect you to believe anything. But if you're asking me if I believe it, no, I don't. I don't believe it was a torn tendon. I don't at all.
And
But
what are
that's
you
not what I'm
disagreeing
telling
with? And what does it?
I'm not disagreeing with anything. I'm saying I don't expect known LeBron hater to believe anything. So why
So let me get this straight. Let the court hear what this man just told you. This man just told you that he didn't believe it was a torn tendon either. But because I said it, you just don't believe it because you're a hater. It's not because this doesn't make any sense.
I wouldn't believe anything from Skip Bayless or Phil Lindsay. These are the two known LeBron haters I don't believe anything regarding LeBron James.
Because everybody else can say this doesn't make sense, but me?
Yes,
I'm the only one that can say this doesn't make sense.
You and Skip Bayless.
Okay.
Yes.
Skip, by the way, said it didn't make sense when it first happened, and I was agreeing then, but I was trying to let it play out and go, all right, well, we'll find out what the injury is in time, and then we kept getting these vague answers on what the injury is. Oh, we'll be reassessed in 3 weeks. This man came out 3 days before this Bulls game and said, hey, don't listen to anybody else. I'm the only source here. I'll tell you when I'm ready. And then he just magically appears the day of this game when the team just so happens to be 500, is running just fine, dunking the ball like nothing has happened.
Miraculous recovery.
But it was a torn tendon. Like, no, this doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense at all.
Miraculous recovery.
Maybe
John Cena.
Rey Mysterio stem cells.
But
now here's let me give the quote for everybody, so there's some extra context. Okay, LeBron said he tore a tendon in his right foot, injury that typically takes longer than 4 weeks to recovery from. He's been out about 4 weeks. He said he went to the LeBron James of feet, and he said that the doctors told him he healed from the injury faster than ever before. The doctor said they've never seen a body recover from an injury like this, and they tested his DNA, and it wasn't DNA, it was USA. That was an exact quote from LeBron James.
Obviously said in jest.
Why am I here?
Obviously said in jest.
I think the funniest thing about all of this is that he said it after they lost the game, because it's such a Bron thing to do. After they lose the game, then he has to come up with this all of this drama and all of this adversity that he went through to get to this game to make this happen, even though they lost. I know you want to admit this because you're a Lakers fan and you want me to be just this huge Bron hater.
When have I not?
Wait a minute. Let me finish.
Occasions. If anyone's going to admit anything honestly about the Lakers, it's me. It ain't you.
So, what I was going to say though, I know you're going to give me shit and try and call me a hater, but this guy is the most dramatic person in the history of sports. This guy is the most dramatic person in the history of sports, man. He really is. He is.
Do you agree or disagree that LeBron James is the most dramatic person in the history of sports, SP3?
Most dramatic in the history of sports? No. I don't. Is he top 3? Yes.
Is he top 3?
He's in the top. I don't think he's
he's pretty close.
He's pretty close.
We know LeBron lies. Like, this is proven fact.
Yes.
We know he lies. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that he was lying about how this foot injury was, how serious or wasn't serious that it was. Was it a torn tendon? I don't know. Did he go to LeBron James of doctors? Let me ask him. Hold on. Let me ask LeBron James.
Yeah,
hey, LeBron.
Tag him.
Send the business card.
Yeah. Hey, at King James. Wait, hold on. I have major foot issues myself. That's a lie, just like LeBron does. Can I please get the number to the LeBron James of foot doctors? It could save my life. Let's make him feel bad. All right,
there you go.
There we go. All right. That's whatever. LeBron James blocks me. That's not a big loss. Okay.
That's what happened. Right. That's what happened to me with Shawn Michaels. So.
There. Yeah, I sent the tweet. I sent the tweet. We'll see if LeBron replies to me and gives me the number to the LeBron James of foot doctors. If he does not, then we can all assume he's lying somewhere.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was just the cherry on top of them losing. That they lost, and then of course LeBron did like he always does, and I was just like, this guy, man.
Oh,
but this is
when he's gone.
This is what I projected, and I told people at the time after he broke that record, I said he is not going to play most of the games after he breaks his record. You just watch. And somebody was like, no, I was like, he's not going to play a lot of games from March to April. He's going to sit out. And somebody was like, no, they're trying to make the playoffs. I said, all right, just watch. And I was right. But, I was right. but this, mysterious torn tendon is what kept him from playing in this game. Just like he mysteriously, his foot started hurting after he broke the record, and he had to sit down, and he couldn't help win that game.
Great comment by Kaden in the chat.
Oh, no comment.
I doubt Hayden has.
Great comment. My sentiments.
Stop me when I tell a lie though. Nothing I said was a lie.
I love my kids as much as Phil hates LeBron.
Stop me when I told a lie though. Nothing I said was a lie. I said he was gonna miss games. Didn't he miss games?
You know you can be honest and also be hating at the same time. Like that's not two different things. They could be very, very related to one another.
As a fellow hater, I get it. Like you can, because I am a hater first and a human second. I get it. So, like this is me. This is me with CM Punk. It doesn't matter what he does. I'm going to hate on him, whether it's true or not. You're correct though.
Exactly.
I was correct about everything I said. That's the only point that I want on the record. I was correct about everything I said here. Not me hating this guy is inconsequential to the point. I was right. I was right. It is okay to admit I was right. It's all right.
His denial of the hatred makes it great. It makes it
when have I denied that I don't like the guy? I've made it very clear that I do not like him. No.
We're not saying don't like the guy. You hate him. Those are different things.
Yeah, nah. But still. well, great win. Great win for the Chicago Bulls, Well done.
I love the denial. It's great.
There's no denial here. I don't like the guy. I've made that very clear.
You hate him. Lose the word. Use the correct wording, please.
Phil, have you seen Space Jam 2?
No.
Yeah,
Why? Why would I watch that?
It's actually not that bad. I mean,
no.
Now listen, he is really as bad of an actor as Michael Jordan was. Michael Jordan was also a terrible actor. LeBron James is a terrible actor. But the original one had the nostalgia for people our age, and this one definitely has the nostalgia. Like my kids loved it because they had like characters at the end at the basketball game and everything, but they also have no fucking clue who LeBron James is, so that made it even better because I don't have to hear about LeBron James. So
nobody should.
No, I have not watched this movie. I also refuse to watch that House Party movie that also looks like dog shit.
Oh man,
that
that's really that looks
either.
horrible. I wasn't even gonna try. Man, when House Party 3 was bad, so I'm not gonna watch a reboot of that.
We need Phil's review of Space Jam 2. This is what I want.
I'm not watching it.
I'll watch it with you, Phil. I've never seen it either. I kind of just refuse to watch it.
Oh, it's not good.
It's not good.
I refuse to watch it.
But see, this is the funny thing that I've been stating since I got on here, that I'll say something like, all right, that movie doesn't look good. But then somebody will go, well, of course you don't think it looks good because you hate LeBron. It doesn't look like a good movie regardless if I hate him or not. Like, those two things are not mutually exclusive.
Would you watch it if DeMar DeRozan was the star of it?
No, that also doesn't sound good. No, that does not sound good. DeMar DeRozan, like, crip walking with Looney Tunes does not sound good.
Oh my god.
Now I want to see that. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, that's all right. Compton Zone returned to LA on Sunday and gave the LA Lakers a well-deserved loss.
Phil,
Congratulations.
have fun in Los Angeles. Enjoy stepping on the feet of anybody wearing a LeBron James jersey or anything like that.
The LA.
Jerseys are disgusting. If I see anybody in LA wearing a jersey in 2023,
Yes,
I am definitely roasting them.
When do
Jerseys are
LA?
terrible.
Huh?
When do you get into LA?
Wednesday.
Okay. I will see you Thursday then, I'm sure.
I'm sure I'll be somewhere.
Cher, please make sure Phil is stepping on feet. Anybody or LeBron, you can join them. You can join them in the just go around, just foot stomping.
I'm gonna have heels on, so that might not be a
Well,
good.
that might tear some actual tendons. Maybe if you did that to LeBron James, he'd have a torn tendon and he wouldn't have to lie about it. Phil,
Yeah.
do you want to plug anything?
Nah, I have nothing to plug.
Fair.
No,
Fair.
I don't want to.
Follow Phil on Twitter for all your LeBron James hate at PhilDL616.
Yeah, I think one of the funniest things this week though was after he lost and after this thing comes out.
Still going.
No. After he loses and this thing comes out, and I sat there for a good minute looking at it, and because I'm in Chicago and a lot of people in Chicago also don't like this man. Like the first tweet I saw was somebody message I saw on my phone was somebody going, "Do you see this? Like torn tendon." I was like, it was like we had the same reaction at the exact same time, like looking at this thing. I was like, what? Okay. It feels like when he got swept by the Warriors and he came out with that cast on his hand.
Do you want to say something nice about Adam Cole right now? Because you're giving me other Chicago Phil vibes of like, hey, we're trying to wrap it up. And it's just like you know what I fucking hate about LeBron James.
You know what else? I can't just air one grievance. I gotta go.
No, this was me giving a
Austin
funny
Reeves,
anecdote.
good kid. Austin Reeves, good kid. I hope he continues to play well.
Him and his 30 free throws a game.
Safe travels to Los Angeles, Phil. Look forward to seeing all your coverage from WrestleMania. My wife is putting you over. She says Phil is the greatest. Oh, it's tremendous. Oh, Cher Delaware, do you want to plug anything?
No, I don't really have anything going on. So
if you're in LA, look for Cher carrying water at the FTR show. And
yeah, I am the water bitch.
Yes, and
that's why Leo Rush, man, you ain't gotta put up with that.
SP3, do you want to plug anything?
Follow me on Twitter at TrueHillSP3. Later today, I'll be doing 2 WrestleMania previews for Believe in Pro Wrestling with with Nick Hausman, I believe someone else, Ricky Gino, all that good stuff. True Hill Heat YouTube channel coming up at 3:05 p.m. Eastern time. We got myself, Romeo, Sat Niengi from Wrestle Talk, and the legendary Dutch Mantel previewing WrestleMania 39. So check that out.
Everyone leave thumbs up and whatnot on this video. We've got a lot of stuff on Overbooked this week. I think we have watch-alongs of some indie shows. We have watch-alongs of all the major shows, so everybody can, if you want to come hang out on those, you can. And then a bunch of other shows and stuff. I don't know. Just follow, subscribe to the channel. People are asking, Phil, you going to Bloodsport? You going to Supercard? What's your schedule like, Phil?
I do not think I'm going to Bloodsport. I'm definitely going to Supercard.
I'll see you at Supercard then.
I'll probably be at For the Culture. I don't know. It all depends. Everybody is acting like LA traffic is the worst thing in the world. So
it's pretty bad on a normal day. It's going to be really bad this trip because there's so many people getting rental cars that won't know how to drive in LA traffic. But
just say you know Denise Salcedo. I feel like you can get anywhere quicker if you just say you know Denise Salcedo. She's a legend in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't think I will be at either of those Mania shows, but
fair. Honestly.
That's fair.
All right, everybody. Enjoy Mania Week. We'll be back next week to talk about basketball and absolutely no wrestling. Thanks, everybody. Thank you to SP3 as always. Thank you to Cher as always. Thank you to LeBron James, #1 hater, Phil Lindsay, whenever he comes on to hate on LeBron James. Go watch Space Jam.
I wasn't here initially. Does SP3 think they're going to make the playoffs? Is this still a thing? You think this push is still in effect?
Still in effect. We're making the playoffs.
Oh, if they don't make the playoffs, Phil Lindsay on this show.
I know. I already know. I already know. It's gonna be hate. This was only hate on 10. He's gonna go to 10,000.
No. This was only a victory lap because the Bulls beat them. But They don't make the playoffs.
all right.
It'll be just the expected result for me.
Bye, everybody.